Hello everyone, Luke Smith here. It is Friday the 29th of November, 11 o'clock in the PM, Black Friday, so hopefully everyone had a safe Black Friday and a good Thanksgiving. So Daniel Larson Wiki reading today. Elisabeth Shimer, unfortunately, she did pass away last month. However, Daniel Larson thinks it's a hoax, but we know she passed. I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm a Christian. I believe that God put me here for a good reason. I show my love for him through my music. And that was Elisabeth's Facebook bio. My son is my heart. I would sacrifice anything for him. That is in my life. I love you, my big boy. And that was Elisabeth about a young Daniel. That did not age well. Yeah. If only she could see him now, eh? The monster he created. I think she was alright back when they were living together. However, I heard that he did used to beat her. So Elisabeth Lee Avey Shimer, pronounced Shimer, November 4th, 1976 to October 2024. Name commonly misspelled as Elisabeth. Was next lover of Travis Larson, the adoptive daughter of Nancy Shimer and Daniel William Shimer, and most notably the mother of Daniel Larson and his late siblings Joella and Olivia Larson. We might have a look into them in a soon video. Daniel's father has remained a rather unpopular figure in Daniel Larson's community. 1 second, I just want to close the door. I forgot to do it. Alright, I just close the door. For some reason I like that door closed. I don't know why. Where was I? Yeah, an unpopular figure in the Daniel Larson community. But the same cannot be said for Elisabeth. She has remained constantly disliked. Oh, I thought she started off nice. Okay. Even by Daniel. Elisabeth has been accused of being highly neglectful and abusive towards her son. Why am I so out of breath? I ain't just come upstairs. Okay, so it looks like she was another problem in Daniel Larson's life, just like his father. This probably is why he ended up how he is. Neglectful and abusive towards her son, which is questionable, although somewhat sustainable due to the fact that Daniel was relocated to the Tennyson Centre during childhood. Despite the fact, Elisabeth has also accused her own sons of abuse towards her. Yeah, I do think that he did hit her a couple of times, which is substantiated as Elisabeth was documented to have been assaulted by Daniel when he was 18 years old. Despite these mutual accusations of abuse, Elisabeth's behaviour seemed to have rubbed off onto Daniel during his childhood. As much like her son, she too has an interest in music. That's where Daniel got his singer-songwriter trait from. Nonetheless, after Nancy's death, Elisabeth wished to keep absolutely no contact with Daniel, presumably having put a restraining order on him along with Travis. It's most likely due to the physical assault she had endured, although the claim of this restraining order on him is yet to be confirmed. Sometime in October 2024, Elisabeth passed away from undisclosed causes. Probably a heart attack, probably like an overdose or something. We do not know for sure. So that's her picture right there. Name Elisabeth Shimer. Alias is Lisa. Daniel Larson's mother. Date of birth November 4th, 1976 to October 2024. White American. Parents Nancy Shimer. 1947 to 2019. We did a video on them, Nancy Shimer, by the way. Daniel William Shimer, 1943 to 2015. So that's obviously Daniel Larson's grandparents. So we're going to get into his family at a later date. Biography. Elisabeth Lee Shimer was born on the 4th of November 1976 in California. She is the adopted daughter of Nancy Shimer and Daniel William Shimer. Nancy was said to have adopted her through connections from her job as a social worker, as her job required relocating infants to care homes. With Elisabeth being one of these infants, don't tell me that she kidnapped her. I doubt it though. Due to this, the information of her biological family is unknown. While unconfirmed, Elisabeth herself most likely suffers from the same mental disabilities as that Daniel has, or is at least somewhat mentally challenged. Probably ADHD, probably autism, which is like quite common back then and nowadays. These claims come from her appearance, which is generally not seen in able-bodied individuals, and disabilities such as autism having a very high hereditary rates. However, until further information comes out, it will remain unknown exactly what she suffers from. Probably autism, because like I said, that is quite a common mental defect to have. Elisabeth was adopted by Nancy. Jesus fucking Christ! Prior to her divorce with Daniel Shimer, her adopted father. It is unknown what real relationship she had with him or her adopted sisters. In 1990, Elisabeth enrolled in the Young People's Institutes of Arts and Academics, where she graduated in 1993. From 1995 to 2004, Elisabeth enrolled in Antelope Valley College, graduating in music and performing arts. Not long after enrolling in AVC, Elisabeth would meet Travis Larson, who not long after would help conceive Daniel with, to which she'd give birth to on the 15th of November 1998, and that is when it all went downhill. Later, March 27th, 2001, Elisabeth would conceive children with Travis once more. She'd soon give birth to Daniel's only siblings, twin girls, Joyetta and Olivia Larson. Although the twins passed away the following day due to incompatibility. That is sad. That is sad, really. Not even like a day old and they passed away. Fuck. That's not nice at all, is it? Horrible. Elisabeth would move to Colorado in 2009 with Daniel when he was 11. According to YouTube comments, her reasoning for moving to Colorado was due to the mental and physical health support which both her and Daniel would need. Elisabeth more so. So at this time she was in a wheelchair. But not long after, she would have no custody over him, as Daniel would be taken away by the state of Colorado and begin living in foster care, and then eventually the Tennyson Center. While the reason stated for Daniel being taken away was due to neglect, it is unconfirmed as to what Elisabeth or Travis did to him. Probably beat him, like locked him in a dark room, that sort of thing. That's quite common with neglected kids. Daniel stated that his mother wouldn't take care of him anymore, and given the fact that at this time Elisabeth was disabled and in a wheelchair, it's very likely that her disability impacted her ability and to care for him, resulting in neglect. Okay, so it's probably just like neglect, not being able to look after him properly. Even so, it's hard to tell what is the truth about Elisabeth and what is not, due to Daniel's constantly going back and forth on whenever he was abused or not. This seems likely though, as in 2010, Travis and Elisabeth has parted ways, according to one of Elisabeth's Facebook posts. This occurred after Travis told Elisabeth to stay away from Daniel, as he'd never get better. To be fair, that is true. He's worse now. He's not even better than he was. He's a lot worse. With this absence, it's most likely added an extra factor of difficulty to parenting Daniel. With a new husband, James Avery, who she'd got engaged to on January 1st, 2011, she would co-own the business Avery Incubator Inc. in 2010, which sold animal incubators. I don't think that would be a much sustainable job, to be fair. Who goes out buying animal incubators unless it's like a big like farm or something? Something that is interesting to know about Elisabeth is her affinity for singing, which has most likely influenced Daniel to pursue a career in singing. On her YouTube account, she would upload several videos of her singing, the most favourite being tributes to various people, namely Daniel. One of these videos was directed towards Daniel, where she sang "I Won't Give Up," which was posted on the 28th of September 2014. On Elisabeth's Twitter account, she would frequently post about going to a music studio to work on her original songs. Although these claims of having a music career and having fans are obviously untrue, exactly the same way as Daniel went. But Daniel's got trolls that tell him that he's a famous singer-songwriter, and Daniel just goes with it. Somewhat after Daniel was adopted by Nancy Elisabeth, yeah, got it right that time, Elisabeth was soon given access to see him once more. Although the exact date was unknown, she'd also make a tribute video to Goyella and Oliver, wherein she sang "Angels," sharing various pictures of them after birth. Elisabeth shows, to be fair, that is actually quite touching, because I remember Goyella and Olivia passed away like the day after they was born, so that's actually a quite touching tribute, to be fair, as long as she sang it correctly. I mean, I'm guessing it's Robbie Williams' "Angels," because that's the only one I've heard of. Elisabeth shows an intense love for both of these children, although by the time the video has been posted, it has taken well over a decade after their births, presumably showing more love for them than Daniel. Later life and poor health. Since Elisabeth was roughly 20 years old, she has been diagnosed with an aggressive form of lupus, an inaccurate genetic autoimmune system disease found predominantly in women, which cause multiple health-related issues. While Travis lived a happy life with his new wife and children, the same cannot be said for her. That's actually a shame, to be fair. Like, died young, like she did, and like that sounds like a rare disease, but like aggressive. So I don't know how that one works, because again, I'd never heard of it before. But I'm guessing it's similar to a cancer or something. But I'm no doctor, so I wouldn't know. As of March 10th, 2010, Elisabeth has been put on chemotherapy and immunosuppressants due to her lupus. Yeah, it's a form of cancer, isn't it? Because cancer is the only thing you need chemo for, I believe, so that's very similar. Which eventually left her wheelchair bound. In 2015, she she went into partial assisted living, where her health would continue to deteriorate further, which is evident by her posting on Facebook about her being in and out of hospital on a daily basis. We got a quote. "Well, I saw the doctor today. He said I don't have MS, multiple sclerosis, but I do have lupus in an aggressive state. I already knew though that I had it since I was 20 years old. He put me back on chemo and immunosuppressants to keep me stable. Still, I still have the ear infection and pneumonia. He said it would take time to get well." On the 8th of February 2016, Elisabeth posted on Facebook that she was paralysed from the breastbone down, causing her to be in a wheelchair permanently. This should be remembered as her being in a wheelchair would not prove to be positive within the coming years. Death. Elisabeth died in October 2024 at the age of 46 due to unknown circumstances. Obviously, it's not unknown. It has to be the condition she was in. The lupus has to be, because they need to change that. Because we don't know what's on her death certificate, so could be anything other than that. But I'm guessing it's the disease that she had. Custody battle for Daniel one blank. Nothing there. Relationships. Travis, main article, Travis Larson, which again we'll get into. Like many other aspects about them, not much about their relationship with each other is known. But according to Facebook posts, their relationship deteriorated in around 2010, coming to a screeching halt after Travis called Daniel a lost cause, insisting that he would never get better. After this, Elisabeth insisted that she did not need a man in her life, claiming Travis to be obsessed with sex and not caring about others' feelings. These posts kicked off a constant theme of not needing a man back in her life. However, this did not last very long following her engagement on the 1st of January 2011. After their breakup, Travis left her for another woman not long after Daniel was taken away. Following their breakup, Travis had at least one daughter with his new partner named Aurora Larson. I'm pretty sure Aurora is kind of a lady of the night name. Sounds like one. Nancy, and we've already read about her, so this is a little bit here. Elisabeth's relationship with her adopted mother is most unknown. What is known though is that through her connections as a social worker, Elisabeth was adopted by Nancy, although this isn't known at what time of the year she was adopted. In June 2022, in comments made under a video by Papa Gart, she elaborated on her relationship with Nancy. Where she claimed that Nancy had not liked her moving away to Colorado in 2009, resulting in Nancy spreading lies, said lies being unclear. And Elisabeth said, this is a comment, "This is all a lie. She just didn't like me moving away, so she spread lies, and yes, she did pass away in 2018. I love my son, but he does have many mental issues and can be violent at times. He beat me and my mother before she died, and had beaten her for 10 years straight." Jesus, if that's correct, by the way. After she got custody of him, he should have stayed there. My mum let him get away with everything and gave him everything. That's why the way he is. I wouldn't put up with his behaviour. Now, in a way, I'm kind of on Elisabeth's side after that, because Nancy was enabling him most of the time. Like, even though she was getting beaten by Daniel, she some reason stuck by him. And that kind of like enable Daniel to do it more and basically get away with shit. In other words, discipline your kids. What is important to know that these claims about Nancy are most likely not true due to her disability and Daniel, in Flexberger's words, being an arsehole. She was unequipped to care for him, especially given Travis's absence. Despite Nancy's enabling, it's most likely that Nancy called Child Protective Services to get Daniel into a home where he could be properly cared for, which ended up being the Tennyson Centre. So yeah, it's hard to know who to trust. In other words, Daniel, obviously we know about him. Daniel is Elisabeth's first and only biological child after the death of her twins. Elisabeth's relationship with Daniel can be best described as shattered. Daniel has claimed that Elisabeth was abusive to him during childhood, although the exact nature of this abuse is unknown. As one time that he said that she and Travis beat him with a belt for 15 years. I do not believe that for a second. Probably gave him a smack when he was bad, but not belting for that long. and that another time, saying that she has never abused him at all. However, in a Facebook post made in the early 2010s, Elisabeth would wax poetic about how she loved Daniel. Even after Travis left her in 2010, Elisabeth still made an effort to get her back and get her back into her life, but eventually gave up on Daniel herself. One of Elisabeth's nicknames for Daniel was Danny Boy, to which he'd grow up to detest and hate being called. Daniel also alleges that Elisabeth hated being called mom or mother and demanded that Daniel call her mummy, otherwise she'll get upset. This is starting to sound like Barbara's relationship with Chris Can, to be fair. However, like many other things, it should be noted that Daniel is extremely delusional with his statements and should not be taken at face value. That is true. Just look at all this bullshit he's spewing on these new jail calls with Little Sip. There's also an extremely tenuous and, more importantly, unconfirmed claims that of Elisabeth sexually assaulting Daniel when he was a young child. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Which may have kicked off his paedophilia. These claims coming from Creston, Daniel asked on his Quora page. Has your mother ever gave you a hand job as a kid, as well as testimony from a person claiming to be a caretaker of Daniel who said he had a history of child sexual abuse? However, this is probably unlikely, given Elisabeth becoming paralysed and Daniel's history of beating his mother. Yeah, like I said, I highly doubt it that she sexually abused him. Highly doubt it. This would not serve her in the long run, as Daniel has claimed to have beaten his mum and grandmother for 10 years straight, which painted him as the abuser. This got to a point where Daniel was arrested, having to serve 44-45 in prison for third-degree assault. Was that months? Days? I don't really know what it is. After he shoved his mother. In June 2022, Elisabeth would leave comments on videos by YouTuber Papa Gut detailing her experience with Daniel while he was living with both her and her grandmother. In the comments, Elisabeth would go into further detail on a number of topics relating to Daniel, including Daniel's various disabilities which are beyond autism, such as schizophrenia and bipolar. Yep, he's definitely got them characteristics. has a history of physical violence against both her and Nancy Shimer, and her impersonal relationship between the three of them, and how Daniel would even went to jail because of his physical violence. And got a quote from her: I'm Danny's mum, and yes, we have moved here for the services. He doesn't just have autism, he has severe bipolar and schizophrenia. He has beaten me and my mum. He has lied. He has lied. He has fantasies about so many things. He does not want to listen to the authority. He is not famous, but he wants to believe that he does, and he gets and what he wants, and if he don't get it for him, he gets violent. If you want more information, contact me. And that was from Elisabeth. So far as to say, she had absolutely no more love for Daniel and had grown to despise him, despite being the only biological family she still has left. And that is actually quite sad. It's like the only living child and he's a fucking monster. Other social media accounts. While there are various social media accounts that can be variously identified as Elisabeth, there are also several TikTok and social media accounts with her name, but none of them being verified, as most are run by people using her photos to impersonate her, mostly to troll Daniel. Most of them are re-uploads from her YouTube channel to try and add validity, but some have caught the community's attention by leaving comments on Daniel's videos. But what is important to note that none of these accounts are real. Most of them has been created very recently and have no information to prove that they are real, authentic Elisabeth. When seeing an account claiming to be Elisabeth or any of Daniel's family members, take it with a grain of salt, as it's most likely run by trolls or impersonators. Yep, definitely. See also family, Travis Larson, Nancy Shimer. Yep, and that was updated on the 15th of November this year, obviously. So yeah, that was a bit of lore on Daniel Larson's mother, rest in peace. So yeah, like when I first learnt about her, like thought about like beating him, because I did actually believe that she and Travis was abusing him. However, now that I like think about it, Daniel was obviously abusing her a lot more. Nancy, yeah, she's an enabler. Like she's like one of the worst persons because letting Daniel get away with shit. But Elisabeth at least cared about him a bit. Yeah, it is pretty sad in the end, to be fair. And by the way, yes, Daniel Larson thinks that his mother's death is a hoax. I don't know why he'd think that, but he's an idiot. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave it here. Tomorrow I'll be having a Quiz Clan update for November. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.